Everyone, my name is Brody Mueller. I'm the owner or co-owner of Dakota Territory Brewing Company, and here as a representative for the South Dakota Brewers Guild as well. So we have two competing bills that have made it out of the Commerce Committee now, SB169 and SB173. So SB169 would allow for micro or craft breweries in South Dakota to brew up to 30,000 barrels a year instead of the current 5,000 barrels a year. It would also give us the ability to sell directly to a retailer and skip the distribution and three-tier system, or skip the distributor and the three-tier system that we currently use here in South Dakota. SB 173 would increase our barrel limit to 12,000 per year, which doesn't really do anything for me. And then it would allow for breweries that have two locations. So if I had the brewery plus a tap room on the other side of town, I could sell directly to myself, but not anyone else. The South Dakota Brewers Guild and myself included are adamantly for SB 169. We feel that SB 173 doesn't do anything to help us and really just keeps the status quo. That bill was brought forward by the distribution groups because they don't want to lose their power in the three-tier system. So right now the three-tier system is the brewery makes the beer, I then sell it to a distributor, the distributor then sells it to a retailer such as Kessler's or Lager's or whoever. SB 169 would allow us to skip that distributor step should we choose to. Now it doesn't dismantle the three-tier system. All the breweries would still use a distributor for certain markets, but it would behoove me as a free market and a business owner to wheel a keg on a dolly right down to Lager's and hook it up, as opposed to calling my distributor, having them come and get it, them taking it to Lager's, so on and so forth. So anyway, Mr. Northrup, I know you're familiar with the bill as it being in committee. Mr. Greenfield, wondering what your thoughts and opinions are on this bill and what you're leaning towards as it's coming up for a vote in the Senate.
I think Al was on both committees that heard these bills. One was actually heard in State Affairs and one was in Commerce. And I think it would be safe to say that there will be ongoing discussions on this, because I think you have competing bills representing competing interests, and we'll try to strike a compromise that will allow your side greater market penetration in a freer environment, but still not completely reject the spirit of the three-tiered system, especially because it's a perishable product and there has to be some control relative to cleaning tap lines and what have you. And I know that you know this, but and I won't go too deep into it, but somebody has to be responsible for flushing out the tap lines and whatnot on a regular basis. And there becomes a question as to whether, if somebody's self-distributing part-time and going through a wholesaler at other times, who is it that was responsible for that particular keg that's in the keg cooler, and who is it that's responsible for coming in and cleaning out the tap lines? And so there's a lot more to it. This is a very complex issue that goes back to prohibition and the repealing thereof. But I would like to see us get a more workable situation going forward for our craft breweries, definitely. Other states have figured out a better system than what we have, and I would like to see us get there too. So I do appreciate your question and your passion for the matter, because yeah, I think ultimately it's about getting people more opportunities, and you can certainly see that the situation could be made better. Thank you.
I mean, there's no doubt that even if 169 passes, I may not even move into a self-distribution model. It's another person, it's more time and energy out of my pocket to do that. And I will be the first to say that I love our distributor. We work with Porter Distributing that has a warehouse here. They're based out of Mitchell, and we love them. We have a great relationship. I wish no ill will on them. The tap line cleaning issue, I feel like, could be remedied fairly easily, and that issue, to my knowledge, hasn't been brought up in any of the any of the conversations, but there are logistics to figure out on both sides. I got into this, and I am not a businessman at all. I'm not a legislator, so this whole process has been very interesting to me. So I hope I'm not coming off like a squeaky wheel, but it's definitely one of those bootstrap issues that I feel like if we have an opportunity to change it, then we can do that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Brody made the comment that he's not a legislator, he's not a businessman, but you see, South Dakota is designed for the average guy. In other words, you're welcome to do what you're doing, and that's part of the process, and that's the beauty of the process. I was one of two legislators, or two senators that heard both bills, so I'm in a unique position. I voted for both of them, and the idea was to put them both out on the floor, and the idea was to keep them both alive, and it's really my hope that the two groups get together and talk. I suspect you've done that, you just need to do more of it maybe?
I've done it personally with my guys,
Yeah.
but on a larger level, it's hard.
Legislators, what we like is if the groups can get together, hammer out the deal, we know then we're not missing, if the two groups agree to it, then they come to us and say this is a good idea, and we go, yeah, good deal, we're done. So I understand the free enterprise side of things. In other words, Brody's attempting to employ some people, attempting to make a profit, attempting to make Aberdeen a better place, and the way he does that is he creates free enterprise in a business, and I get all that. So we're going to, at the end of the day, I suspect it's going to be going in the direction where you get to prosper and move forward. So, thank you.
Thank you.